What's good? What's good, y'all? Let's see. What's up, man? Who in the building? Got started a little late. Um, it's tired, y'all. Sometimes, man, you can have any if you're not careful, you can have a draining day or a draining moment or moments. And you don't realize that. What's up? What's up, Abraham? Uh, you don't realize how you're affected, and sometimes, you just gotta sit still. Sometimes you gotta, you know, just phone it in, you know, and as with the mental health of a man, especially a so-called black man, um, you know, we don't we don't get to we don't get to check out what's good. Appreciate y'all, man. Those of you, man, who I appreciate all of y'all, man. But I really do appreciate you all who do participate, who do check in the comments, because, like I told y'all, man, it's what's up, Jay? Um, I've realized, man, like y'all don't know how much y'all commenting helps me. Um, because, like I was saying, you know, we don't we don't get to we don't get to hurt. We don't get to cry. We don't get to uh admit that we're tired. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a video, man, and it explained it so well, man. Like, no matter what a man says, like, it's not good enough. Like that, like, men don't get to have excuses. We don't get to have a rough fucking day or a moment. We don't get to check out. We don't get that. It's like when we ask for something, it's almost like it's out of the realm of like, it's almost like, fuck you, nigga. Like, just keep it in a bean. You know, Charleston White said it so eloquently, man. He's like, man, a man ain't missed until he's gone. It's like nobody gives a fuck about us till we in that motherfucking graveyard, man. That's when daddy missed. Everybody give a fuck about mom. Nobody give a fuck about dad, man. Dad is dad. Dad is, hey, man, when we need you, man, pick up the phone. But outside of that, nobody give a fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? And motherfuckers will like, when we have a conversation like this, people will give a fuck for a second, right? Because we saying something. People will give a fuck. Shit might last. I don't think motherfucker get 24 hours, man. You know what I'm saying? And then it's right back to, you know, provide and protect. We gotta get right back on the post. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it. I'm cool. This ain't a complaint. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fucking reality. It ain't a complaint. I ain't complaining. You know, no disrespect to nobody, man. I don't want to not be a man. but also I don't want to not be not counted. So in order to do that as a man, we got to be the ones to take care of ourselves in the same fashion and the same manner and the same energy that we take care of everybody else. Because nobody does it like we do it. Nobody. You know what it's like to be a fucking warrior, bruh? Like the mindset of a warrior. We can't feel shit. Cause feel shit getting when you start getting emotional, man, you out of pocket. Cause now you're not in a position to protect. For the last month or so, I've had to make moves in certain areas, not because I was fucked up, but because I'm positioning myself to be able to help those people that I care and love and have a responsibility to. You feel what I'm saying? Whether it's friends, whether it's family members, whoever the case may be, like I'm having to shift and move in a way to be able to take care of somebody else. So now whatever I got going on, I gotta still keep that going on, and in fact change it or intensify it or take it up a notch or whatever the case may be. You gotta make these turns, right? And as a man, you are out of pocket if you allow someone else's emotions to factor into that. You feel what I'm saying? If you allow somebody else's emotion to factor in, now you out of pocket. Now you can't think straight. So it's an assignment. Don't nobody want that motherfucker, man. Nobody want this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I love my sons and I love my sons, I love my daughter. My sons, you know, they ain't like how I did certain things when I was raising them. And I allowed them to tell me those things. And I allowed them to tell it to me how they wanted to tell it. So I was called certain things, I was said certain things, I got text messages and group chats, and I got some shit, you know what I'm saying, that I had to take that shit on the chin. It's like cool. What I didn't do was try to explain myself. No, I ain't want to explain myself, man. What I did do, I listened to my father. My father, man, my man, I got his saying over top of my head every time I'm in my office, man. I got a picture of him up here and a couple of things that he used to say to me, his two favorite quotes. The first one is there's an art to everything you do. That's I ain't gonna go into that one, right? Because both of them are deep. But the one I want to talk about tonight, he used to tell me this shit, man, and the older or the longer I stay on this planet, the more relevant and prevalent it's become. This is what he used to say. Fellas, y'all might want to write this shit down, man. Right? Cause once I heard it, I never really had to write it down no more because it just stays with me. And this is what he said. He said, time will tell everything. time. Think about that. Time in and of itself. Motherfuckers try to say, oh man, time don't exist. We created time. We created this. I ain't talking about 9 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. That ain't the time I'm talking about. It's not the time I'm talking about. I'm talking about the time that you spend on your journey. That time. It will tell everything. If a motherfucker tell me they love me, you know what's you know what's gonna prove that to be true? It ain't what they say. It ain't even what they do. Cause what you do don't mean shit if you pick and choose when you do it or how you do it or why you do it, who you do it to, who you doing it for. Cause you could do something for me, but you ain't doing it for me. You're doing it for yourself. You doing it for somebody else. You're doing it because of somebody else. So your actions ain't shit either to me. Fuck your actions. Fuck your punk ass actions. And fuck your words. You know what matters to me? Time, nigga. Time. You love me? Let's see how long, motherfucker. How long you love me? How long that gonna last? My father, man, God rest his soul, man. That shit, it really saved my motherfucking mental health. Because people can tell you anything, but time will tell everything. People can tell you anything, but time will tell you everything about a person. Time will tell you everything about your motives, about your feelings. Time. Just give it time. See, because let me tell you what time gonna do. Time, when you say something, right? Let me tell you what time does. Time's gonna give you space and opportunity to see if that's so. That's what time gonna do. Time gonna give you space and opportunity to factor in and see if what you said is what it is. Whether you're joking or not, whether you playing or not, whether you serious or not, you can be bullshitting, you can be whatever the case may be, because our realities are shaped by what we have said and what others have said. That's what shapes this punk ass world. Words. I'm king when it comes to playing. I play a lot. I say some shit jokingly and be dead serious though. And then there's sometimes when I be dead serious, and I don't mean like, man, it is what it is. No matter what it is though, whatever words I speak, I created it. So where I'm at in my life right now, see, even that in and of itself, to be able to take responsibility for your actions, to be able to take responsibility for where you are in life. I take it. I get it. But what I used to do is, and fellas, I guess I'm talking to y'all, man. I am. I'm talking to y'all today, tonight. It's a men's meeting tonight. At least until if any of my co-hosts show up, then cool, right? But as a man, you get to a place where you get to a place where it's all on you. It ain't on nobody else. If we're going down based on the decisions that we make. What I learned is, here's what happens with us as men. It's not the one bad decision or incorrect, because sometimes it's not a bad decision, it's just not the correct position. It's not the correct decision. You feel what I'm saying? So first of all, just identifying that, because when we make a decision and it doesn't do what we thought it was going to do, we immediately deem it as a bad decision, and then we feel some type of way. And now, because we do that, it now turns into several fucked up decisions, because now we're not even thinking straight. No. Let's, before you do that, now, when you make a decision and it ain't, you see it ain't the right one or it ain't up to par, the first thing is just telling yourself, hey man, listen, that's not a bad decision. It just wasn't the correct one. It just wasn't right. Cool. Now let's not continue to make another series of bad decisions. That's when the shit turns bad. When you start making more decisions based on how you feel about that one incorrect decision. So what I've learned is that, one, which is why I got on here late, but I'm also keeping my word. Made some decisions. I didn't like them. They seem to be not correct in my mind. I ain't gonna keep making more decisions based on that decision going that way. What I'm gonna do is stop. I'm gonna pull over, right? It's just like, if you get lost, I ain't gonna keep driving 10 hours. If I know I'm supposed to be going west and the motherfucking my car saying I'm going northwest, I'm gonna pull over. I'm gonna stop. Wait a second. This ain't the way I'm supposed to be going. I ain't gonna keep making more decisions going down the wrong path or the incorrect path. You know what? I started going this way about 6 miles back when I was at that 7-Eleven. Let me turn around, go back to the 7-Eleven. I was supposed to keep straight. I'm going back there. What fucks us is not the one decision, but the several decisions after the one decision, and you keep making them. And the same way that you make a correct decision, then you got to keep making more decisions in that direction. You can't do that when you make an incorrect decision and keep making more, because now that's when the shit lessens. That's when the shit worsens. I mean, right? Now the situation go from a 2 to a 28, right? And then you start listening to other people, to other things. You start listening to yourself, and now those decisions are piling on, and that before long you got a snowball of shit. When all you had to do was just stop. You know what? Let me not do. Sometimes it's best, if you don't know what to do, don't do shit. You don't know what to do, don't do nothing. I watched this video. I put it on one of my social media jumps. Motherfuckers say, if you take your bottom lip and connect it to your top lip, you'll shut the fuck up. And sometimes that's what you need to do. Just shut the fuck up. See what I'm saying, fellas? There's sometimes, man, we gotta shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing, because you know why? No matter what we say, 9 times out of 10, we are highly misunderstood. Highly. You know why we misunderstood? It ain't that we wrong. It's everybody got an agenda, and everybody has an agenda and a opinion about which way we should go. But it ain't even your fucking responsibility. It ain't your responsibility. I'd be an asshole to listen to a motherfucker. We in the truck, and them motherfuckers. We get to a fork in the road, and I can see the nails. You feel what I'm saying? I can see the motherfucking nails on this to the left. Now it's a little more rocky over here, but I know for sure it's nails going to the left. And I listen to the motherfucker who ain't gonna change the tire. I listen to the motherfucker who ain't gonna pay for the tire. I listen to the motherfucker who don't even know or even had the wherewithal or the mental to be able to help me fix whatever's going I know is going to go wrong if I go this way. As a man, you gotta be able to hold your motherfucking ground, man. We aren't loved until we missed, and it's a damn shame. I know you get misunderstood, bro. If any man worth his salt, any man who speaks up, who speaks out, you're hated. You're hated from the motherfuckers that love you. Just keep it a bean. You're hated by the motherfuckers who say they love you. Because here's the thing about a real man. His real enemies don't even, they know. The line drawn in the sand. Them ain't the motherfuckers I got to worry about. Just keep it a bean. I got to acknowledge them. I got to know when, I got to have my shit set up. But if I'm not careful, it'll be a motherfucker that say they love me, from my child to a in-law, a aunt, uncle, whoever, spouse, girlfriend, baby mama, whoever the fuck, wife, ex-wife, whoever, any motherfucker, nobody is safe. Motherfuckers will tell you they love you, man, and then turn around and put you in a trick bag because what they feel like you should do, or you should be, or you should do this, you should do that. But see, you can't see the big picture. You said, hold on, let me see. So I just done that shit with my wife. I knew where we was going, but she told me to turn right, and I done it, knowing where the hell I was going. Yeah, man, listen, don't be ashamed, brother. You know what I'm saying? Don't be ashamed by the shit, because we all do it. Like I said, any man worth his salt, that's what we gonna do. Any man worth his salt, we gonna listen. You know what I'm saying? Any man that has a heart gonna listen. But what I'm also telling you is, while we listening to them, make sure that we listen to ourselves as well. See, and it took me some years. Now it's my words, my thoughts are the most prevalent in my head. I'm not giving that shit. I'm not, what somebody else think doesn't hold more weight than me. And I'm cool. I'm gonna live with the results. It was some things I used to tell myself, man. I said some wild shit. I remember one time I said, man, I ain't gonna get married until unless I get somebody unless I get somebody pregnant. This was after 2 failed marriages, right? And I said, well, man, and this is the reason why. This the shit I'm talking about. The reason why I said that I ain't gonna get married. Only way I'll ever get married again is if I get somebody pregnant. And at that time in my life, nigga, I was a Trojan sponsor. You hear me? So I knew I wasn't I wasn't gonna get nobody pregnant because I'm on strap season. So I ain't had to worry about it. This is this shit I told myself. You hear me? And so I made that statement based on that mindset. What happened? I ended up getting the motherfucker pregnant. Or so she said, right? She said I got her pregnant. And I went with it. Come to find out, baby wasn't mine. You feel what I'm saying? But she knew that I said that in my mind. So when she got pregnant, she said it was mine in order to get me to marry her. Been through some shit, y'all. Right? So now I never say no shit like that. Get fucked. Like, nah, that ain't going like I'm not going to make agreements with myself. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I'll tell y'all that story one day, man. Like my the marriages and different things that I've been married 4 times. I got married young. My first marriage, I got married as soon as I came home from God. I left college and came. I left home. I left college, came home. I was engaged to a sister I met in college. My high school sweetheart said she didn't want to have nothing to do with me. We was at the same college. So she came a year after I was there. She came down there. We broke up. She was seeing other people. I started seeing other people. Fuck it. I met somebody. She graduated. She was older than me. She graduated. I left school, came home, got engaged. She caught whiff of it, came home, and basically said, nah, nigga, you ain't marrying her. And we end up getting back together. I end up breaking off my engagement, marrying my high school sweetheart, who I had my oldest son with, and then we had my second oldest son once we got married. Right. So I've been married. Like marriage was, you know, a thing for me. So I never wanted to be in the streets. You feel what I'm saying? Like that was never my goal to be just out. I mean, I had my times. Don't get me wrong, right? But that wasn't a lifestyle I was looking to live. To just be out here, slinging it. You know what I mean? Um, because of the example I had when I saw how my mother and father were. So that's why I say in one of my poems, as good as I was at basketball, I never dreamed of the NBA. Just the day that I could be married and raise a family. So that was always me. I always wanted big ass family. I always wanted, you know what I'm saying? So that was my goal to get married. So I tried that shit full time, marriage after marriage after marriage. And I said, fuck it, fuck marriage. I realized my father's life ain't my life. That's when I came. And it took me 20 some years after he passed, almost 20 some years to figure that out. Bro, stop trying to live that nigga life. What does life look like for you? And so every day I find that out. Every day I find that out. Find out what's life like for me, you know. And I stopped putting everybody in front of me. I'm not putting my children in front of me. I'm not putting no God in front of me. I'm not putting the church in front of me. I'm not putting the religion in front of me. Nothing or nobody gets to sit in that first seat. Nobody drives me around. Not happening. Not happening. Nah. Mm-mm. It ain't a book. It ain't a poem. It ain't a movie. It ain't nothing. Nobody gonna come and tell me. I had some of my closest friends, man. We've had conversations, you know, and them niggas said some shit they thought. I ain't marrying shit, Jay. I'm never going back to a courthouse. And I'm never going back. I've been to the courthouse twice. I've been to the church twice. It's the same shit. So that's it. So the mother get with me thinking they gonna get a ring and a wedding and all that type shit. We might can have one, but but I'll be the nigga for doing the wedding proceedings. I won't be. Can't nobody. I'm not standing before not near another motherfucking man and say nothing. I'm not standing in front of a God and say nothing. Here's what I learned. I heard this quote, and I'm fucked up because I caught the tail end of my man's podcast, and I tried to look up the quote. I thought I heard who he said it was, but I'm gonna paraphrase the shit, and I apologize. I can't give the credit to the proper person who said it. Right? Motherfucker said, "When it's time for me to get in that casket, ain't nobody gonna get in there for me. So I ain't gonna let nobody tell me how to live." Not one motherfucker on this planet is willing to die for me. So I'm not gonna let one motherfucker tell me how to live. Not one. I don't give a fuck who you are. Unless you gonna take my place when it's time for me to go, shut the fuck up. The fuck on. You can't tell me how to live if you ain't gonna take my place when it's time to die. Fuck out of here. People will have perceptions and say things to you, man, and rightfully so. People don't know how impactful what they say to you is because you don't you haven't walked in my shoes. You haven't endured the things I've endured, and so you look at my life or you look at how I move and you think that. And it's cool. I'm not saying don't speak your mind. I ain't what I'm saying. What I am saying is when you speak it, be prepared. Be prepared for the aftermath. Cause this is what people do. This what people do. People pick up a grenade, snatch that motherfucking thing out, and throw that bitch, and don't think ain't nothing gonna happen. Nah, some blowback gonna happen. Like that's life. So just be prepared for the shit. Just be prepared for the reaction of your action. Because words are action. Be prepared for that. Because some shit coming. Everybody ain't ready for that, man. And it's cool. And as a man, I used to try to figure out how to lessen the blow for everybody else. How can I lessen the blow so this thing don't hurt? How can I make sure everybody got a soft place to land? Can't. Stop doing that too. Because you'll find yourself as a man, and it's crazy because motherfuckers have taught motherfuckers have taught us this shit for so long, man, and we don't get it. Like, we've been taught the savior complex. We've been taught, oh man, it's all right to I remember when I was in the church, that motherfucker had, it was a series. They taught motherfucker, Lord, teach me how to die. Why? Why I gotta die? Nah, Sean, I talk to me. Sean, teach me how to kill some shit that don't belong in my life. Teach me how to be an assassin, to kill parts of me that no longer serve me. Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a thought, whether it's a mindset, whether it's a car, whether it's a place of residence, whatever it is, some shit gotta go because it's no longer serving me. And so that mindset, that, you just gotta have that killer. Because if you're not careful, I remember hearing this when I was little, especially when we competed, in sports. You know, here was the phrase, kill or be killed. That's why like I don't I really had to back off of the sports culture now because it's so fucking soft. And you got niggas talking about, man, the old heads or the OGs. Oh man, everybody. Now winning don't matter. You ain't gotta win. You just get to the championship. The fuck? Now we got that bullshit. Oh man, we went to 10 straight. Nigga, you lost 6. You've won, wouldn't call you a winner. Because in order to be called a winner, you gotta win more than you lose. But it's like motherfuckers don't wanna, we just, the culture is so fucked up now. It used to be, we used to be separated. You had motherfuckers who was athletes, who was really athletes, and you would never see athletes get on the floor or get on a playing field with a motherfucker who don't belong on the floor with them. I ain't saying everybody can't play basketball. I'm gonna just use basketball for example. What I am saying is everybody can't play basketball. Figure it out. I ain't saying everybody can't play. Everybody can play basketball, but everybody shouldn't be playing basketball. Everybody, see, back then when I was coming up, you had to be a bad motherfucker, right? To be on a travel team, to go represent an area and play another area or another city or another state. Everybody couldn't just go do that. That ain't how that worked. Everybody, everybody couldn't go. It was, you had certain motherfuckers. Hey man, we need that dude, that dude, that dude, and that dude. When I was 12, it was 7 of us that represented the state of Maryland, and we went to the Nationals. Right? It wasn't even called AAU back then. It was called Junior Pro. and we went to Tennessee and we played against other big cities, right? Now, shit, you got 58 teams leaving Maryland to go play AAU. You get down there, the shit's so bad. I do respect this. It used to be, oh man, you just store everybody in one tournament. So now, as a child, you wanted to play basketball that bad that you and your parents, your family spent all that money to go 6 hours away from your home, stay in a hotel, this, that, and the third, and you get out there on that floor and you get the shit beat out of you by 60, 70 points. Your motherfucker ass don't even score. You wanted to, but so it ain't that little Johnny can't play basketball. Like even when just even the club ball back when I started, you had intramurals. So you had to learn how to get before you even played county ball. You had to play inside the club. So we had intramurals where it was eight Oxon Hill teams. So everybody was Oxon Hill, and the only thing divided us was the color of the jersey. So I played on the white team. We had the white team, the red team, the black team, the blue team, the green team. So it was like 6 different colors. And we played intramurals. And you had to play against each other to get good. And then at the end of that, you had an all-star game. So what happened was, watch this. You had the best players of the intramural team play the county team for the kids who were really good that used to play all the little around the county. Well, it ain't like that no more. Well, now little Johnny don't get in the game. Fuck it. I'm gonna go start a whole organization and surrounded by my son. Now my son ain't gonna now the same shit you was accusing the other coach of doing. The other coach wasn't really it is some motherfuckers that do it. But for the most part, if you on the bench, it's the reason why your ass on the bench. Right? You ain't got it. It's cool. It's okay. But just play local ball till you get your shit together. You might not never get your shit together, so stay local. But to take a motherfucker to go run and play and get your ass handed to you, handed to you. What are we teaching? All because I was mad because that coach didn't put my kid in the game, and you start a whole organization, and now and then so this how the shit works. My kid don't get in the game. I said, cool. You know what? Next year I'm gonna start my own organization and put my son on the team. I'm gonna go get some kids, some other kids who wasn't playing on other teams, and we gonna come and we gonna play. And guess what you're gonna end up doing? You're gonna you're gonna do the same shit to somebody else's kid that was done to your kid. And then guess what? That parent is gonna do the same shit I did. Now you got 99 motherfucking teams. And you got motherfuckers who can't coach a fucking lick. Who literally use plays. I've literally coached against niggas who playbook, they got that shit off for 2K. I like niggas, I've seen it. I've seen niggas with a book. I've seen niggas with books in their ball bag, their basketball bag. Nigga. Like motherfuckers, shit's crazy. Everything ain't for everybody. It's not reality. Eddie Griffin made a joke one time. You know what I'm saying? You know, and I forget how he framed. I forgot what sport he used, but he said, "Man, Little Johnny jumped out there, and I think it was fighting or boxing. I think it was boxing, or whatever. And said, man, yeah, I want my son to box. Motherfuckers don't do that though. Motherfuckers don't jump out there and say, oh yeah, throw my son in the ring. You know why? Because that's a different kind of ass whipping, right? It's a different. They do it in football, and you can really get your kid hurt, right? But it's like sports. or competitive certain things will let your child figure out, hey, you know what, I ain't good at football, but I like math. Go do some math shit and just play some little recreational shit if you want to play football. But to go to feel like everybody's on this level, that's nah, everybody on that level. Everybody don't have that. Yeah, all this plays off of John Madden. Slim. Yeah, I've seen it, bro. I've seen the shit. I have seen it in real time and literally laughed in niggas' faces. Like it's certain motherfuckers. I'm like, it's nowhere in hell I'm gonna lose a game to you, bro. You like, and you think it's because I got better players? Nah, nigga. Listen, I can coach, I can teach, I can inspire. You the only reason you're coaching is because you weren't good. Your son ain't that good. It's like you're hated if you tell the truth. So I don't. I'm cool with a motherfucker not liking me, cause I'm gonna tell everybody the truth. And it starts with. Let me get back to the fellas. It starts with telling you, being truthful to yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Tell yourself the truth. Don't don't try to walk around with a bag of cotton balls and fucking pillows and shit, trying to make sure everybody got a soft place to land. Nah, include me. Like I'm cool. I know sometimes I gotta I gotta I gotta chill. You said you mess with Dion. Dion who? Who is Dion? You said Dion Sanders? Yeah. Why wouldn't I? He's done it at the high. First of all, any motherfucker who has done something in a sport that 98% of the motherfuckers haven't done, different. It's levels. Show me where his youngins weren't that good. It wasn't like he did. They weren't. It wasn't like it ain't like. Watch this. So when he went to Jackson State, oh man, the level of competition, this, that, and the third, right? The nigga broke records at Colorado. The same way he broke records when he played for the HBCU. The nigga is as advertised. You see what I'm saying? He as advertised. So I don't know if that's what you mean. Do I mess with him? Like, yeah, man, like he doing his shit. What I like about Dion, he doing this shit his way. Don't give a fuck about what everybody, and that's the whole point of this soul talk, man. You can't give a fuck about whether a nigga mess with you or not. I could give a fuck. I'm gonna do the shit my way. I'm gonna run my house. I'm gonna run my life that way because guess what? Like I said earlier, I don't know if you was in here earlier. If you ain't willing to get in the casket for me when it's time for me to die, you damn sure can't tell me how to live. Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody's gonna fuck a casket. You ain't gonna pay the bills I gotta pay. You so fucking concerned about my life, pay the bills. Do all the shit I gotta do. Be there for all the people I gotta be there for. Nobody's gonna do that. They just gonna have an opinion of how you should do it. And everybody's opinion is damn near solely placed on, only based on how it affects them. But real men, we got to move in such a way where not only am I thinking about how I'm affected, I'm also thinking about how my children are affected, how the woman in my life is affected, how my family, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, like people who I hold dear in my circle, people who I have a responsibility to in my world. I don't give a fuck about the world. I give a fuck about my world. See, like, motherfucker can't call me and talk to me about Trump. I don't give a fuck about what Trump got going on. I ain't the president, nor do I want to be. I don't want them problems. I don't need them problems. I'm trying to figure out shit I got going on in my world. So if a flood, if a 29-foot tidal wave is headed to Washington D.C., I won't know about it unless a nigga call me and tell me. Cause I don't watch the news. I don't need information about what's going on in everybody else's life in order to run mine. I don't do that. That shit will have you moving on somebody else's time. And I opened up this soul talk tonight with my father's quote: "Time will tell everything." Not time in the sense of 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Not that time. Just actual time. I made this quote or this statement I wrote years ago. It said, "Time only exists after time has passed." Time only exists. I might want to write that one down. First one, my dad used to always say, "Time will tell everything." Everything. If a motherfucker tell you they love you, time gonna tell you. Nothing else. You can't tell me you love me with the words out of your mouth. You can't even tell me you love me with the actions that you have. Time gonna tell. Because do you love me when I don't do what you want me to do? Or what you think I should do? Is the love still there? Or now the love leaves because that nigga, man, you can't tell him shit. Well, you can't. Because if the shit go wrong, you ain't responsible to fix it. So how the fuck you gonna tell me? You ain't gonna jump in and fix a motherfucking thing. You know why? Because you got other shit that you're doing. But you got enough time in your life to kind of come tell me about mine. Nah, nigga. Work on your shit. Leave me fuck alone. I don't I I had to become ruthless in this area. I couldn't let somebody else's emotions, somebody else's thoughts, somebody else's fears, somebody else's trauma, whatever the fuck you got going on. You're not going to dictate my fucking life. Fuck that. I'm not doing that shit no more. Can't. Everybody to each his own. I I came when I laid my mother to rest. My I don't give a fuck meter went through the fucking roof. There ain't a pain out of all the hurt, all the pains, all the funerals and shit that I've had to endure. That one, see, some people don't have or didn't experience a loving mother. That ain't my fault. You feel what I'm saying? I know what I mean to my mother to this day, right? And to have to bury that person that I know, like me and my mother, like my mother, she was my mother, bro. Like she was my mother until the day she left this earth. You know what I'm saying? At 50 some years old, she was still mommy. I never called her by her first name. That's my mommy. You feel me? So for me, I can't, I can't, I can't allow my life to be dictated by what somebody else think I should do. You only think that because of how what I do is going to affect what you got going on. That's the only reason you're saying something to me. Because there's some things that I possess, that I have, that benefit you. And what people want to do, whether it be consciously or subconsciously, is control that. It is nowhere here. I can't. I won't. Not happening. Not happening. And I've come to realize, Marlon Wayans, man, I really I really want to go through and play some of these videos that I got, right? Marlon Wayans said, I'm prepared. When he said the shit, man, it felt like home. That motherfucker said, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to live the rest of my life alone. And when he said it, it resonated with my soul. And that's soul talk. See, when we meet people, when we connect with people, when we connect with circumstance and relationships, it's something that happens between that person, whatever the relationship may be, where it's a soul connection, right? It's a soul connection. It's a soul tie, right? And so, but you got to be careful that you don't allow that to control. I ain't control nobody. I'm gonna allow you to say what you say. I'm gonna say what I say. Do what you may. I get it. I understand. I've I've had some very hurtful things happen to me, and so pain doesn't doesn't freeze me anymore. Pain doesn't, you know, stop me like it used to. Pain doesn't send me into depression like it used to. Pain doesn't send me into fuck it. Just yank this car off the road. Fuck it. Just blow your fucking brains out. Pain don't do that to me no more. I don't have to die so that somebody else can live. I'm not doing that. Because what's worse than death is living a life that somebody else wants you to live so that they can be okay. That's worse than death. Because now I'm not living for me. I'm living for you. I ain't Jesus. Fuck that nigga. I ain't nobody's savior. I ain't laying on nobody's cross. I ain't carrying nobody's cross. Fuck all that. That's not a way to live. I ain't doing that. I ain't the motherfuckers that tell you to sacrifice don't sacrifice shit. Motherfuckers tell you, man, sacrifice. This, that. Fuck are you sacrifice? That's some of the dumbest shit. For God so loved the world that he killed his only, that he sacrificed his only begotten son. But you let the devil live. And you gave that nigga dominion and power over the earth. But you killed your son. The fuck are we talking about? That makes sense? The nigga you got a beef with, you still haven't killed the nigga. What kind of parent are you to put a snake in the crib with your children? What we talking about? This is the mentality, right? It's the mentality that you brainwash motherfuckers with. And I'm not one of them niggas. I ain't get brainwashed. It's not happening. I'm not rocking like that. I'm not allowing anybody to manipulate me. I'm not, I'm not, I'm cool. I realized years ago when I was in the church heavy, y'all. I was in the church heavy as shit. And even in the church, the motherfuckers, my nickname in the church was Angry Man. That's what they called me, Angry Man. Because of how I played the roles and shit like that. Yeah, see, but I'm saying fuck religion. I'm saying fuck conscious community. I'm saying fuck spirituality. I'm saying fuck everything. Because what'll happen, right? Let me pin that. What'll happen, nah, Ether, right? Is you'll replace Jesus with some new shit. So now you ain't fucking with Jesus, but you got, and I ain't gonna yell out no names because here's the thing. I ain't I know for me, I know the truth. Right. And I give y'all this example damn near almost every time I go live. I give y'all this example. So I talk about that shit. I talk about different religions and different things, not to attack them, but for me, I've surpassed it. I know what it is. So here's the teaching, right? Here's the teaching. This will sum up religion and everything for you. See, because you have, and now I do talk about the Bible more than anything in Christianity because I was raised in it. So I know it. So like when people come at me with that shit, y'all don't want to do that. Y'all might want to leave me alone. I'm well versed. Like you can't come at me with shit. But this don't make sense. The motherfucker says, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. There's only one way to get to the Father. That's bullshit. Let me tell you why. Tell you why that's bullshit. Why would you take the time to make everybody different and then tell them it's only one way to get to me. You took the time to this is what they say. There's not one set of footprints that's ever been or fingerprints that's ever been duplicated. You took the time to that magnitude that there's no one, like everybody individually fingerprints are different. So we talking trillions of people, but out of those trillion people, you're telling them it's only one way. That's bullshit. It's 11 people on here. If I give y'all my address, even if you live in the same house as a motherfucker, if I give you my address and tell you to come pull up, even the people in the same house are going to take different steps to get here. Even if they get in the same car, the steps they take aren't going to be exactly the same. Somebody got to go pack, somebody got to go to the bathroom, somebody got to go to the grocery store, somebody got to go get gas. So nobody's steps are going to be exactly the same. What's the goal? To get where? Here. That's how I look at religion and different things. So when I talk about it, if you just try to say, oh man, he don't fuck with Muslim, he don't fuck with. No, I love Muslim people. I crack jokes about it, just like I crack jokes about Christianity. That's who the fuck I am. That's my personality. That's my DNA. Why do I gotta change that to make somebody else comfortable? If you don't like it, don't be around me. Because I don't need to be around you. You feel what I'm saying? I don't need to be around somebody. So if somebody has a problem with who I am and how I move, make it real simple. And this is why I say I'm prepared to live alone. I'm cool. I used to hate it. I used to hate because I wanted to be married so bad. I used to hate to have to sleep alone. And then I grew the fuck up and then I got over it. I don't feel that way no more. I'm cool. I'm cool not having to hear the voices. Cool with that. But what I'm not going to do is live a life for somebody else to be comfortable. I've had and I said this earlier, my own children came at me. Hey man, listen, I get it. Good luck. Come tell me about it when you finish, when you do it. My oldest sons have come back to me and said, I see now when you got a kid and you got a baby mama and you got a bill and you got to feed and you got to protect and you got to figure it out. And then you realize that your son or daughter may grow up and tell you the same shit you told your father. Why did you do it this way? Why did you do it that way? I'm cool with the shit, bro. I'm cool. I promise you. It's no way I'm going to lay down and live somebody else's life. I'm not doing it. And here's the thing. I don't demand or require another motherfucker to live their life to make sure I'm cool. I'm saying if we ain't If we ain't on the same frequency, we ain't on the same frequency. If we on the same frequency in certain areas, then we gonna be cool in those certain areas. But in other areas, I'm not forcing it. I'm not making sure all the areas line up. Nah, nah. That ain't how frequency work. The sun don't give a fuck what nobody got going on. You know what that bitch gonna do? Around about 5:45 tomorrow, come up. You know what it's gonna do tomorrow evening? About 9 o'clock p.m. Go down. You know what it's gonna do Saturday morning? About 5:43, 5:42. It's gonna come back up again. It don't give a fuck whether it's raining, sleet, snow, thunderstorm, none of that shit. Don't give a fuck. I've learned to live my life in that fashion. I'm gonna rise and fall on my own terms. Don't give a fuck what nobody else got going on. I'm not getting ready to do it. There's no way in the world. I'm not gonna allow somebody else to dictate what I do and how I do it. Because I realize you ain't gonna do that shit for me. Nor do I want you to. Because here's the thing. You doing it for me ain't gonna better my life. It ain't what you do. It ain't even how you do it. It's why. I heard this sermon years ago. Motherfucker said, he said he got two titles for the name of the sermon, right? He said, I got two titles for this sermon. This is before he taught the sermon. I'm gonna say I got two titles. He said, I'm gonna throw them out. I'm gonna throw the titles out first before I start talking. You tell folk which one you heard. He said, I want to talk about the ultimate question in life, right? That was the first title. He said, I want to talk about the ultimate question in life. Or the other question is, who are you and why are you here? Who the fuck are you and why are you here? That's the ultimate question in life. So now I look at my life. So is my sole purpose on this planet is to be somebody's father, somebody's brother, somebody's uncle, somebody's cousin, somebody's coach, somebody's mentor, somebody's husband, somebody's boyfriend or whatever the fuck. Like that's my sole purpose. That's why I came here. I, 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 for me, I know that ain't the real reason I'm here. I know that my soul is eternal. It's no way that you can tell me that my soul has to make sure you feel okay. My soul is to make sure that and do my sole purpose is to do what you think I should be doing. Since we talking about this eternal shit and this, see, that's why motherfuckers talk that shit, man. Like, if you gonna talk that shit, man, talk that shit. But don't talk shit if you can't talk shit. If you gonna talk shit, talk shit. But don't talk that shit if you can't talk shit. And only people who understand what I just said get it. time out, man. Let me get a break real quick. Quick check, man. What state y'all from, man? Where y'all at? It's like 12 people in here. I know half of y'all ain't gonna comment. That's cool. I'm still gonna ask. Man, just shout out, man, where y'all from in here, man. And let me ask y'all, why y'all in here? Two things. One, where y'all from? Two, what time on Thursdays do y'all think I should go live? North Carolina. What time? What's a good time on Thursday nights for us to chop it up? And it's 144. Look at God. 144,000. Look at God. Oh man. Or y'all just cool long as I jump on here Thursday night. Just be prepared. Turn your notifications on. Cause I got home, man. I was drained. I didn't Kalai Shore hit me. He was like, man, we doing soul talk. I said, yeah. And then I went the fuck back to sleep. He hit me about 8 something. We doing soul talk tonight? Yeah, I'm doing soul talk tonight. I woke up, it was almost 12 o'clock. I sent him a text, hey man, if you up, I'm on. But yeah, man. So yeah, I guess no input, huh? So y'all just gonna rock with me whenever I hit the button. That's cool. I appreciate that. I'll figure it out. But yeah, man, I just wanted to come on here and rap, man. And I ain't even asked nobody to come up here this week. Cause normally I ask y'all, man, anybody want to come up. But just know the thing been scrolling right there too. Say text your email or your phone number if you want to come up here, man. I'll send it to you. And y'all can come up here, man, and be a part of the talk, man. Because, you know, I heard this one time before, right? Again, this was said I've been in religion heavy, right? Motherfucker said this to me one time. Pastor told me, he said, there's some people who will not hear from God unless you speak. New York, what's up? What's good? Appreciate you. There's some people who will not hear from God unless they hear you. And so that's why I encourage y'all to come up. For nothing but for a second. You know what I'm saying? To come up and say, hey, appreciate y'all, man. Thank you, Jay Escobar. Um, Cash flow. Thank y'all for the comments, man. Um, Let me see what this do. I've been looking at this damn button. Um, so yeah, like for me, it's said 11. I think that's a decent time too. I kind of like that. Cause what happens, man, like when I get home, I gotta transition out of work mode. And then I gotta deal with whatever I gotta deal with when I go to home mode, dad mode in here and all that type of thing. And then I gotta transition into soul talk mode. That's another gear, and it's another energy. Mm. Yeah, Kalai. So like I said, Kalai hit me and asked me, was we doing soul talk? So we may do it tomorrow we may do it together tomorrow. I'll see what he's looking like and I'll see what I'm looking like. But what happens is like I said, man, when I get home, I used to burn myself out. Right. I used to, just push no matter what. And what I found out is, excuse me, What I found out when I was doing that as a man, I was always, and I showed y'all this example before. I don't have no water down here. But what happens is, you keep pouring out your cup. You feel what I'm saying? Um, you said, "Hello, brother. I wish you well. God bless you. This is a closed video. Will you be willing to have a guest?" Nah, like I told you, you see the little thing up there. You want to text your email to that number. I'll give you the link, and I can literally bring you up on the stage right here. I can literally bring you up on the stage right here, and you'll be up here with me, and we can have a conversation. So no, it's not a closed video at all. Um, but damn, I forgot what I was saying. Shit, damn, what was I saying, y'all? Before I read that comment, I forgot where I was at. What was I saying? So I can finish that thought. I don't remember. Damn. But anyway, oh, burning out. Like, so what happens, I'll force myself to just push through, and I'll pour out, and I'll pour out, and I'll pour out, and I'll pour out, and I'll pour out. And before long, I don't have nothing else to give because nobody else is thinking, hey, let me pour into him. Nobody else is saying, what do you need? Right. And so, and I ain't saying that they should or they have to. What I did do is say, you know what? I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to make sure that I'm okay mentally. Whereas before, I didn't do that. I didn't take that time. And so, as much as I, love y'all, man, to come on and talk and rap, I gotta love me first. You feel what I'm saying? I gotta love me first. And so, um, hold on, somebody just text. Hold on one second, y'all. I was about to get off here, but I'm hold on one second. Oh shit. Let me see something. All right, hold on a second, y'all. I don't want to lose the connection. Yeah, Big J. Yeah, hey, let me know if you can Night of Honor. Let me know. I texted to you instead of shooting the email because um I ain't want to lose the connection. Um Let me know if you can do it from there. Okay, here we go. Bring this brother up.
Hello, brother. How are you?
What's going on? What's up with you?
Oh, I can't complain. God has kept me today, and I have another chance to get right what I got wrong yesterday.
That's what's up. Yeah, hey man, that's what life is about, man, And sometimes it ain't even sometimes it's not even getting it wrong. Sometimes it's just time. Like I said earlier, time will tell everything. But go ahead, man. What you want to say?
Um, you know, I know you was talking about God and everything,
Hmm.
but I don't know which God necessarily you was talking about. Was you talking about Jesus, or was you talking about like Yahweh, or? or who is the?
So for me, man, everybody, I respect everybody, right?
Sure.
I don't, when I talk about so for instance, when I talk about Christianity, I'm talking about it from my experience, right? So
Right.
if you come up here and that's what you believe, I'm not shooting down your experience, nor am I shooting down your relationship or anything. I'm just speaking from my experience, right? And
Okay.
so you know, uh I'm not trying to deter anybody either from, like, I'm not in the recruiting business of saying, hey, I need all you guys to think like I think, or move how I move, whereas that's what churches do. Because if it was one church, then you wouldn't have so many different denominations and different things and everybody hollering out, oh well, I'm a messenger of God, I'm a messenger of God. Okay, well then why y'all got so many different beliefs? You feel what
Well,
I'm saying?
I understand that, and I know that when I read the Bible, Jesus said, "A house divided against itself shall not stand." Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got this worldly church, which is the church where, like you said, everybody's like saying, "Hey, it's my way or else," you know. Um, but really, Jesus is the way. No man is right. Everybody, when it comes to something as big as God is, no one man is going to have all of the knowledge and insight and wisdom that God has. God can give him certain parts, obviously, but nobody should ever just rely on what one man tells you. You know,
Mm-hmm. I agree. But so now look, also remember this. It also said this in the Bible. It says many people think that they're walking into the light, but they're actually walking in the darkness.
absolutely.
So now,
Gee,
so no, hold on, watch this. So who is that scripture for? Because that ain't for the casual sinner, the casual drinker, the casual fornicator, the casual adulteress or whatever, the casual rule breaker or commandment breaker. That ain't that statement, because these people don't think they're walking into the light. The people who think they walking into the light are the people who going to church every Sunday, Bible study on Tuesday, Wednesdays, Sunday prayer meeting, all that. Those the people who thinking that, right? And so that's why I said, like, to each his own.
sure.
But you said something was key. You said something as big as God. So tell me, how is it God can be so vast, but his book got a beginning and an end? When he
Well, you see,
himself is the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Will you gotta be that to see that.
absolutely. And that's a good question. And that's where I differ from, I guess, what you consider, normal believers or whatever. For instance, I consider the book of Enoch as part of scriptures, because it even says in the New Testament that one of the apostles was saying that Jesus did so many works that it it weren't possible that there would be enough books, you know, to document all the works he did. So if Jesus being alive, did so many works that there's no number of books that could contain it. God is, exponentially, because I mean, it's not just all going to be in the King James. There's a lot of books that they left out, and then there's a lot of things that God hasn't revealed to anybody. But people think that they can piece all these puzzle pieces together like some kind of whacked out conspiracy or something, and then they get people in a cult believing Barack Obama's the Antichrist or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, me personally, you're right, because Jesus said that straight and narrows the gate, and broad is the path to destruction, and many will be that enter there, and that, few will be that find life, right? But he
Mm-hmm.
also said, he said, not everybody that calls upon me and says, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. And then he
Mm-hmm.
said that there's going to be a day when, he's in front of these people and they're like, have we not prophesied in your name? Have we not cast out many devils in your name? Have we not done many wonderful works in your name? And he'll say, depart from me, you worker of iniquity, I never knew you. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's another parable where it says that a good servant will watch for his master's return, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it says that an evil servant will not watch for his master turn. Instead, he'll turn and he'll smite his fellow brethren. But that goes to show you that there is evil servants. There's people that's evil that think they believe in Jesus, but he don't know them whatsoever.
Mm-hmm. He also said this, and this is where it gets dicey. You can do the same things that I can do, even greater things than these.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, it's one thing to exalt my brother, but it's another thing to get, if you really get busy doing what it is that you supposed to do, which what I said a little earlier, I said when I listened to this sermon, the brother said, I got two questions. I got two titles to this sermon. I'm gonna throw them both out, tell folk which one you heard. And he opened this sermon up and he said, I want to talk about the ultimate question is life, or I want to talk about being sidetracked. He said, what's the ultimate question? Who are you and why are you here? You feel what I'm saying? And so if I'm concerned about, or my concerns are about what I'm here to do and who I'm called to be, I don't have time to follow somebody else's religion, somebody else's their way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, it's 15, 13 people on here. If I give everybody my address, they're going to get here 13 different ways. Well, what's the point? The point is to do what? Get here, right? So it's not one way to get to me. It's 13 ways. You see what I'm saying? How is it can God be so vast but make it to where it's only one way? Well, you should have made us all one way then. Don't tell me I got a freedom that I don't have. Don't tell me I got a
Well,
freedom to think and move and then tell me when I do that's wrong.
well, I've never really actually seen too much in the Bible talking about free will. What I have seen in the Bible is stuff saying like, you were preordained and
Mm-hmm.
this is prophecy and this is my will. All right, so for instance, God's will would be whatever manifests in creation. And by that I mean it says in the Bible God said he created good and evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody murders somebody next door to me or even comes and murders me while I'm on the phone with you, that was part of God's will and he allowed it to happen. So, you know, people
Mm-hmm.
people don't think about stuff like this because if God allows something to happen physically in the world, he didn't try to stop it and he didn't say, "Oh, that can't happen." And so people think that they have free will, but Jesus said that you're supposed to, basically surrender your life to him and that you become a slave. That's what one of the apostles were saying. Now, ask how it could be like only one way to God. Well, that's because when you read the Bible, God made a covenant with Abraham, I believe, Isaac, I can't remember. And he chose that lineage of people to be his original chosen people. Well, the problem is that when you read the Old Testament, you see the reoccurring theme of somebody saying God says to turn back to him and stop doing all this evil and all these things, and they kill the prophets and they do all this and that. And then you know, it gets all into New Testament where there was no man found worthy to fulfill or uphold God's law except for Jesus Christ. And I'm a little bit different in that too, because Jesus was a man and it said he had the Spirit of God resting on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily know if Jesus was like fully God, but no doubt in my mind that God's Spirit was with him because, if he was fully God, he would have been praying to himself. You know what I'm saying? So, um, but anyway, the problem is people come in with their own mind, and this is part of faith because faith is supposed to be the hope for the substance unseen. Okay. And so faith defies logic. Like, for instance, it defies logic for somebody to walk on the water, right? It
Mm-hmm.
defies logic for somebody to get eaten by or swallowed up by a fish or a whale and then carried, through the ocean in the belly of a whale or something. And logic, I think, is what limits people because the Bible says you have to discern those words spiritually. Well, there's a difference between your spirit and your flesh. That's why all of us always have like conflicting things go on inside of us. Like, for instance, for a while I was addicted to pornography and my wife, almost left me and all that stuff over it. I didn't want to do that sort of thing, but at the same time, there was a part of me that did want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you deal with. You deal with like, because you got to think your brain is like 3 or 5 pounds of tissue, but 3 or 5 pounds of tissue is nothing compared to the vastness of just the planet alone, let alone space. And so, for for any one man or group of people to say, "Oh, we got it all figured out" or whatever, and they're doing it by like the same ways that we normally do things, mathematics, science, whatever, you know, that's all flawed. I mean, even computers have errors all the time. I mean, if it was so perfect, millions of people's information wouldn't have been leaked out to the dark web when they had these data breaches for AT&T. If science and computer worked perfectly, there would be no errors and there would be none of this stuff, houses needing roofs constantly or whatever. If something's perfect, then it's perfect and it don't need to be changed. But only God is really perfect. And you can see that in the actual like way the earth functions. Water is like trapped in the air above us via like, evaporation and all these things, and it condenses back down, falls down. We have green grass, we have trees and seasons, and everything's been really stable for a long time, and we've been supporting life, and like, for instance, ants, if all the ants and all the bugs in the world just ever, exploded in population, they would destroy the world of everything. But they don't do that. They're kept in like a perfect balance. But we're the only ones really in all of creation that, you know, try to go against things and do things our own way or whatever.
Yeah, so you said a lot. um, what I will say to kind of, I probably should have been writing stuff down, but what I will say to all of that is, um, everybody has their assignment. Um, the name of my printing company is called Made for a Mission, and it's simply to tell people that you are made for a mission, right? And so you made a comment about the ants and the insects. They'll never take over the world because that's not their assignment. You
No,
feel what I'm
yeah,
saying? They
no,
they
yeah,
they their DNA, it's in their DNA to just reproduce, dig tunnels, take care of the queen, take care of the workers, go out, get food, bring it back. That's their assignment. Their assignment ain't to take over the world. And so even with us, right? We are beings. We have an assignment to find out who are you, and more importantly, find out why you're here. And if you made a statement earlier about the Bible, you said, and I think it's in the book of Jeremiah where it says, "I knew you before you was even in your mother's womb." Right? So God knew us. So if God knew us, and I think it's in Psalms or Proverbs, I think it's in Psalms, where he say he even count the hairs on your head. Like, so for someone or some entity to know that information, and to know, I think it was in not Ecclesiastics. What book is that? It's in the New Testament where he also said, "I called you before the foundations of the world." So we as souls were created before the foundations of the world, right? And so now, me knowing all that, for me, I can't just take what others are face value, because here's the thing. You mentioned, and I'm glad you did, you mentioned the Bible. Like, you because you take in the book of Enoch, and there's other books out there. The Bible in and of itself, I think, they just, matter of fact, glad you brought that up. Disney and Google bought the rights to the Bible. So that lets you know what control is, right? Literally, I think recently, within the last week or so, if not this week, that Disney and Google bought the rights, because the Bible is a containment. It's used to contain, not free. I'm of the mindset, for me, I'm going to protect my freedom by protecting my mind, by protecting my talk, and ultimately that protects my soul. You feel what I'm saying?
I do, and
Yeah,
I wasn't saying that ants, that their purpose to go to the world. I was just using that as an example of like how everything is in perfect balance.
absolutely. We were saying the same thing. I just said it different. We were
Right,
saying the same thing. I wasn't saying it. I wasn't, when I said that. When I say that, and it's funny, you see. So now, again, watch the rabbit hole. Anybody who knows me knows my love for ants. You wouldn't know that. I love ants. I don't kill ants. I like, when I see them, like, I really want to build a gigantic ant farm. Like, that's one of my goals when I was a little boy. So for you to use that, again, that just lets you know what frequency and alignment is. So no, I didn't. I wasn't. When I was speaking on it, I was speaking on it from that perspective, not to say that you were, or insinuating that you were thinking that's what they were doing. I wasn't speaking from that.
right. And I understand.
Hmm.
Um, the thing is about the Bible, though, about all these books, and about because realistically, when you read the Bible, you realize that that route and that life and that faith is not for everybody, right? Jesus himself even said, count the cost before following me, because what man would sit down and go to war with the kingdom of 20,000, or so, and only having 10 or 15 or whatever. Um, so the problem is again, like you're talking about force, people will say, oh, you better go to church and this and that. But to me, if somebody don't want to go to church, that's disingenuous. That's like trying to get a kid to hug somebody that they never wanted to hug in the first place, you know. So I don't believe in forcing anybody, to do anything. Um, so a lot of people's got messed up from that, because I think it's the aspect of mankind that likes to dominate each other. Because when you look at what mankind has done, that's what we've done, you know, for, from the beginning of time until now. The same problems we had in the ancient world is the same problem we have now. Violence, sexual immorality, theft, murder, it's the same things. So that tells me that us as a species, we're not evolving. Okay. So, that means that something has been the same mechanisms in the background the whole time, you know, pulling the strings and making it all do it the way it is. And Enoch, I don't know why a lot of people don't accept that as part of scriptures. I mean, I guess I know to a degree because the topic of an angel or a demon or whatever is kind of like whimsical and magical to most people. Like, for instance, it's easy to say that I believe Jesus walked on the water because I read it in the book. But it's a whole different thing if I see that in person, because am I going to be surprised and have my mind blown and be like, oh, wow, that's crazy, you're walking on water, whatever? Or am I going to, like, remember that in God, all things are possible? So, that's the thing. A lot of spiritual stuff is kind of like repressed. People say there's no miracles, there's no this or that or whatever, because, humanity really is the closed-minded individuals, because they'll be the first to tell you what does and doesn't exist. Like, for instance, scientists and paleontologists and all these things, archaeologists, they'll be like, oh, there was a specific type of animal in this specific region of the earth and it went extinct how many ever thousands of years ago or whatever. And then sometimes on occasion they'll find the exact thing that they said was extinct, or they'll discover a whole new species entirely that they never even thought of. So, for people to sit and say what does and doesn't exist, is absurd. Like, for me, I don't say that Thor and Loki and Odin and all of them don't exist, but I would classify them as false gods. I believe wholeheartedly that in the past, people had encounters with spiritual beings or what you would consider to be a god, because realistically, anything bigger and more powerful or wise or whatever than a human could be interpreted as a god. And so the book of Enoch talks about that. The angels fell, they took and they had wives, they had children with their wives, their children became men of renown, mighty men, giants, all these things. And it says that they had children with animals and they had children with plants and all this stuff. And, you know, I mean, that's exactly what Zeus and all of them did. There was a, a spiritual entity, and they had demigods with people like Hercules and all them other ones, Beowulf, Odysseus, all that stuff. So I don't discredit what people say when they say, "Oh, I believe in Thor or whatever," and that's fine. If you want to believe in Thor, then do that if that's what you choose. But if you change your mind, or if God opens your heart to it, then you go on back to Jesus. But other than that, I would say that those things are definitely real, but I would say that they're not what they say they are.
That's what's up. Hey, quick question, bro. Somebody in the comments wanted to know where you from, what part of the country or whatever, what state you in.
Right now, I live in West Virginia.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. That's where you from, or that's where you at now?
Nah, I'm from Virginia originally, but I moved over here with my wife. I
Gotcha.
got beat up. I got beat up pretty severely uh, a few years ago with a baseball bat by a guy that was on methamphetamines, mentally challenged, and he was like 350 pounds. And he hit me like swinging down toward my head like 7 times, 8 times, something. And I threw my arms up, and my arms took a lot of that, and they got all mangled and broken. And then my lower back got messed up, and as you can tell, like I take a lot of pauses and things when
Mm.
I'm. That's because my head and my brain got a little jumbled. So
Wow. Hey, man, prayers up, man. I'm sorry to
uh,
hear that. Yeah.
nah, man, I'm happy for it because
Mm.
if that didn't happen, and God hadn't have done that for me and pulled me out of that life, I'd have been, you know, judged by a jury of 12 or carried by, 12 or 6.
Mm.
So,
Mm. Man, that's what's up, man. See that, and that's what I'm talking about right there, man. That's that. Uh, you never know nobody's story or somebody's backstory, and so, and I talk about that a lot. Just knowing what people, where people come from, what they've been through, what they're going through. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody has an assignment. Everybody's made for a mission, and your mission is ultimately more important than whatever misery you got going on. So man, I appreciate you for coming up, man. Um, and definitely, man, you check the show out, man. I do this every Thursday night, man. We just come up and we just talk from the soul, you know, and share, whatever it is we talking about or whatever is going on, man. So again, I appreciate you, Mike. Right? Did I get that right?
yes, yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, man. I apologize, man. I'm terrible with names. I work with children for a living, and when I first meet them, it take me a minute to get the names together. So I'm kind of proud of myself that I remembered yours.
Well, and I appreciate what you're doing working with children, because I know just as well as you know the amount of, I really wouldn't call it animosity, I guess, but let's just say hatred that there is for children in the world and how
Mhm.
children are abused and stuff. So, God bless you for that.
I appreciate you.
Yes,
Appreciate
sir.
you. All right, man. Hey, y'all, man. Give it up for my man Mike, man. Thanks for coming up, man. Being a part of Soul Talk. Hey, man. Until next week, man. Y'all already know, man. It's protect yourself, man. I'm gonna leave y'all with this, man. Remember, time will tell everything. And make sure that you take care of yourself, you protect your mind, protect your body, protect your soul, protect your heart, guard your heart. You know what I'm saying? Because as the scriptures say, guard your heart, because out of your heart flows the issues of life, man. Y'all stay safe,
Absolutely.
stay up. All right, man. Talk to y'all later. Peace.
God bless you.
All right. God bless you, bro.